How do you know this?
That's what I do. I drink, and I know things.
Hello, welcome back to the podcast that drinks and knows things. I am basically still Luke, and I'm still basically joined by Ben and Glenn, and our special super awesome guest, Mallory Dorn. San Rixing. What's up, guys?
Howdy.
Hey, yo.
Hi, I'm back and drunk a little bit more.
Perfect.
Nice.
Are you starting to know things yet?
Yeah, I do know things.
Perfect.
I do know some things.
Oh, sorry. Shout out to Bailey in the chat there. I didn't miss this earlier. She said, "Oh my god, this again." And I asked what. She said, "Glenn listing what MNBN is all about."
Yeah,
the must not
the
be
Harry
named
Potter
is all about.
He's talking about Gryffindor, Ravenclaw, other things about Hogwarts.
I mean,
There's a wizard in
is
this
that
one.
100% right? Do you guys talk about
We
that?
have talked about every single one
I'm
of
making
those
sure.
things. You're bilingual,
I'm
Harry.
listening.
Harry Potter
You're
and the
bilingual,
Rosetta
Harry.
Stone. You're bilingual, Harry. Still one of my favorite jokes.
I'm by many things, but lingual ain't one of them.
Okay, so obviously this show, the epilogue version, is a lot looser, no format to it really, but we are here talking about Needling the Chicken. So this is all things Arya and the Hound, full spoilers available. Abby wasn't here, but we kicked the first time viewer out.
We kicked her out
because
at the beginning.
Because just don't even show up. That's what we said. That's not what we said. But, so let's get into it. Mallory, I'm going to throw it to you first because you specifically asked for Arya and Hound with the chickens. And, I mean, I'm with you. This is an awesome fucking episode, and I love these two characters together.
Have we talked about how cool the fight was yet? Because that was a badass fight.
It was.
That was
I'm going to ham.
Epic.
On
Yeah,
some
it
hams.
was. He was like, all right, here we go, let's do this, and just freaking, he smacked some punks in the faces.
Yeah.
And I think he's killed the guy through his balls.
Yeah,
right?
and didn't he smash somebody's eyes out, if I remember correctly?
Yeah.
Yeah, sword pointing down.
He kinda
as
had
guy
his-
Yeah, and he just, from the bottom, he's a power bottom, and just fucking
He's a power bottom.
Yeah.
The Hound is a power
And then, like,
bottom.
Powder bottom.
powder bottom.
Powder bottom.
I think that's Mallory's.
Parter bottom.
Well, no, with flame resistance, he learned. You have to talc up.
And like basically Arya was kind of
Get on top.
sitting back for a little bit until she definitely saw the sword and stuff like that, and then it's time to play now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Now,
Yeah.
one thing with that scene too, but when they first got in the inn, Polliver, when he's walking up, Arya reaches back and grabs the Hound's sword,
Yeah.
and Hound doesn't stop her because he's like, okay, if shit goes down, my hands are full. I know you can, because what he saw at the end of last season, her going ham on the fray, he's like, okay, I know you can handle you can hold your own, so I'm gonna sit here. And then once the Hound kind of eased up, that's when Arya let go of the sword. I've been in similar situations, and it's always nice to know when somebody's got your back and when your hands are full. So,
Are you saying you've been in many sword fights, sir?
no,
over
but
chickens?
I was, I'll call it out. I was in law enforcement for some time, and I used to carry off duty, and I was at the movie theater, and just got some popcorn and a soda, and I turn around and this guy goes, "You work for that police department?" "Yes, I do." And my wife was standing right there behind me or beside me. She put her hand right on my lower back, right where I concealed. And I'm like, "What can I do for you?" And he's like, "I just wanted to thank you. You're just blah, blah, blah." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And her hand released so much. And I looked at her, I'm like, "You knew what the fuck you were doing." She's like, "Yes, I did." And it's like, so being in that situation, it's like, okay, it's nice to have somebody who knows what the fuck they're doing and
Yeah.
all that kind of
no,
stuff.
respect to you.
Well,
My
yeah.
dad was a fireman paramedic for
Nice,
like
respect
38
him.
years. So yeah, I feel you. Thanks.
So these two characters are just awesome together.
Dynamite.
They are dynamite. And like we'll get there soon, but the scene where she's practicing sword fighting, and he's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Like, because we know, and that's got to be coming up. That's like 3 or 4 maybe. It's got because
It
it's
might
not
be
next
actually-
episode.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure on that. But and he's basically she tells him about Serial Pharrell, and
Yeah.
and she's like, "He was the greatest swordsman who ever lived." Well, what happened to him? Well, he died.
He died.
How'd he die?
He didn't have a sword.
He didn't have a sword. Oh, the greatest fucking swordsman in the world didn't have a fucking sword.
Who killed him?
Marin Trent.
Marin fucking Trent.
And I think the same scene,
Baron.
he says something like, "Oh, his hair was more greasier than Joffrey's cunt."
Joffrey's cunt.
Yep.
It's just so good because, like, we know that she doesn't give a fuck, and like we know that he doesn't give a fuck, and they're just—it's so funny to see them kind of interacting with each other.
Yeah.
And he is really good for her.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
just as a mentor more than anything.
Yeah.
And
He's like a
she is
paternal
also good for
figure.
him.
Exactly. Now, the scene hasn't come up yet, but he teaches her about mercy. Like, and I believe it's in the show. I know it's in the book. I believe it's in the show of showing.
It's in the show.
Yeah, showing someone the
That's where
mercy.
the heart's at.
Yeah, that's right. And that's kind of where my kind of joke from the previous episode of, oh, you remember your lines, showing him a little mercy, because it's a straight rip of the release chapters, the mercy chapter from Winds of Winter, which still hasn't been released yet. George, fucking waiting.
Knock it off.
I'm kidding. It was a joke.
No jokes about that. Take your time, George. Do it right.
Do it right. That's fine. I just said we're waiting. That's it. I didn't say hurry. I just
You said,
we're
come
waiting.
on, George.
I said we're waiting. That's all I said. But with it, but I do love that chapter, and it is a great callback to and that's one thing when I saw this scene, I was like, holy shit, they're actually going from a scene from not even in release books. That's when I'm like, okay, we're
Right.
getting a little off the rails a little bit, or getting a little ahead with the timelines or stuff like that. But it's like with that one fit. That one felt right.
Sorry, which one were we talking about?
I was just basically talking about how they copied the Mercy chapter, which which was released, preview chapter kind of thing with Polymer.
For the Winds winner.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that is, I feel like, especially when we get to the point where, Arya leaves the Hound and, like, doesn't kill him. Like, I feel like that relates to Mercy as well. I feel like that's kind of like setting up that whole Mercy chapter. But also, like, if you think about it, that's kind of when maybe it's too soon, but it's almost when Sansa and Arya kind of start going down opposite paths from what they started off with. Like, Sansa starts becoming more hardcore, and Arya kind of starts learning, okay, I just can't fucking murder everyone. That won't answer all my problems. I'm tiny. The Hound ain't gonna be around for long, or if he is, whatever. I don't know. How you guys feel about that?
I'm with you on where they kind of, Arya and Sansa being like polar opposites.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they cross, and there was even talk in the show that Sansa was going to be playing the Lady Stoneheart role, like basically doing that shit. And
Yeah.
like that, if that would have happened, that'd be even more so like, holy fuck. Like she's just fucking murder, like killing for fun at this point. Not for fun, but for vengeance. But
No, I can see that. And especially the last shot, I want to say of this season of Sansa.
7 or a 4?
No, 4. When she's coming down from the Vale in the black dress,
Yes.
the high choker and everything, where she basically looks
Very
like
queen.
a Lady Stoneheart. She's like, I know what he wants. And the very next scene, she's coming down the Vale, in that dress and everything. And to me, it's like, okay, yeah, I could see her, at times. And then after this season is when it goes off the rails with Sansa's story. But,
At any rate.
but that
It becomes Jane Poole.
yeah, but that scene, that shot, that's when I thought, hey, maybe they might take it to the Lady Stoneheart, turn her that way, which would have fit. I don't mind Sansa's story now, where it's at, but, leading up 5 and 6,
Goes off the rails a bit.
yeah.
Fair. Glennie, any thoughts on Arya, Hound, or
the Hound.
Arya and Sansa and how they've over time changed?
Can I go a different direction?
You do whatever the fuck you want.
Okay, I mean, I probably like one of my favorite moments of the show watching it was when they brought the Hound back, because it was just not confirmed that he was coming back or that they were gonna. And he was part of that meme, the SS abandoned plot lines with Gendry rowing the boat, and they had all the characters. But and that episode I remember was a cold open as well. And you just see people just like building a church or whatever they're building, and then you see the Hound come in carrying a log when it took
2 guys for everyone else.
Everyone else, it took a bunch, a number of guys, and he just carried one. And I was like, yes, that is awesome.
Was anybody else like up on top of like something screaming with joy? I know
Hallelujah.
I was. I was like, it's my boy. The dog is in the house.
Yeah. And then that basically confirmed for book readers of Gravedigger, like you were saying, Mallory, because I'm in the same boat. I mean, I think most people are that delve into it. He's a Gravedigger.
Yeah, that's one of those it's hard to
like,
say that
Right.
it's not. Like I think you're almost pulling straws to say that to prove that it isn't.
Exactly.
It's pretty clear cut once you see the evidence of it.
Yeah, no, like there's some theories like Cyril Farrell is actually Jaqen, which
Or Dario, or I mean, no, there's
I mean,
there's so many Serial Pharrell is, or Dario is, or like, it's,
the serial one I buy a little bit more just because it's possible he was taken to the jail and then he changed his face into Jaqen, and that's how. And
so there is no Serial Pharrell.
no, there's no. It's always Jaqen.
It's just a guy.
It's just a face. So
made up name.
I'm going with that. Like I'm still buying that one, but like the Hound one, it's like it's pretty set that has to be. And again, if we don't get a Clegane Bowl show or book, it's
just Clegane Bowl. No Sansa.
I'm a Sangen guy personally. I'd like to see Sansa and Gendry. Arya's not ended up Gendry.
Gotcha.
But I think the House Baratheon and Stark do merge and under that banner.
I can dig that.
Right. And I think I do want to see like the reunion with the Stark girls, but I think something that they've done last season was have a reunion with him and Brienne.
Yeah, that's
which I thought was pretty cool. And also a reunion with the Brotherhood Without Banners.
Yeah. And he's like, I tried to join you. Well, actually, no, that was Gendry. Well, both of them called him out. They're like, I tried to join you, and you told me fucking no.
No, they wanted Hound to join. He said, I'll go with you, but I'm not fucking doing anything. But Gendry was, that's where he was like, that's where Hound was like, quit your whinging.
Yeah.
Your lips are moving and words are, and sounds are coming out. It's just, it's
and
awesome.
I was
all the Beyond
a
the
big
Wall
fan
episode.
that he came back and like just to have his one-liners and stuff like that. It was just awesome that he came back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
we have
when
that.
like with that scene where they're back in King's Landing, they're at the dragon pit, and Brienne and Hound are just kind of in that walking and talking group. They walk and talk,
Right.
And they talk about Arya. It's just like, well, I was hanging out with Arya, and she was like, well, I know her. She's pretty fucking tough. And he's like, yeah, that's not surprising at all. Like, like
It's almost kind of
I taught her
like
to be tough.
proud adoptive parents.
and they were honestly, they are her foster parents for a time, and it's great to see that they both kind of realize that and can get on the same page with each other, because there could definitely be some contention between Brienne and Hound, but it's nice to see that they kind of put that BS on the side, because the thing that they care about is the Stark girls, and I like it.
And they both got good character arcs, I think.
And good caricature arcs.
Caricature arcs.
And that really, setting it aside, it really, for Sandor's character, I hope he goes, the same way in the books. I hope we get Gravedigger confirmed in the books, but, him, putting aside that anger when all he could focus on before Rage, it really shows how he's grown from going and living on, hopefully, the Isle of Faces. And just, from where he was at the Battle of the Blackwater, he's just come so far.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
Not a
feel like
Lannister dog anymore.
he and Jaime probably go through the biggest character developments from
season 1 to now.
and it's you'd want to love both of
And
those
it's impressive, but you didn't. Maybe season 1 you probably didn't love him, but now
the Hound's always had really good quips and things, but he's always had good quips, but he wasn't a good guy. He wasn't really a good character.
Right.
And Jaime, we see him throw Bran, the most important character in the entire story, out the fucking window. Just to make have you make that face. But clearly Jaime is set up to be a villain at the beginning. Yeah. And in George's old first writing stories, or the letters to the editors of these, Jaime was supposed to be the big one of the really big bad guys, and then it kind of turned more into Cersei and Joffrey kind of combined. But
wasn't he supposed to become king by killing everyone?
Yes. Yeah. It was it was almost too tropish. Okay, there's a big bad guy. It was, and I think it was a good change, but there are some lingering things from very early that he kept in that make the redemption arc that much more meaty.
Exactly. And going back, or talking about, on the Hound front, Septim Marigold's Broken Man, I think describes Hound to a T.
Absolutely.
I mean, and isn't Marigold the one that found and brought him, or was it another? With the Gravedigger, or found the Hound is dead. The Hound is dead.
Right.
Right. He's at
peace.
peace, or the Hound's at peace.
Right, the Hound is at peace, and he basically like washed up on the shore of that place.
The Quiet Isle.
The Quiet Isle.
But we get the Broken Man speech before we get to the Quiet Isle, and so I think it's actually Maribel telling Brienne, here's many people, my own experience of men breaking, but it's a nod to the Hound because he broke at the Blackwater. He's like, fuck it, I'm done. I don't want to do it. And now he has nothing else. He has no idea what to do.
Fuck you. So
you're
cool.
And so his arc, his arc tried to, redeem itself by protecting Arya. Now, granted, he wanted gold just to survive and all that. He'll tell himself that, but in all reality, he was trying. I personally believe he was trying to redeem all of his past.
She humanizes him too. Like the fact that she hangs out with him and he gets to know her, even in her struggles of where she's becoming less and less humane at times.
Yeah,
they kind of balance each other back to, hey, we still are humans, and it's just refreshing for both of them, I think, and because they're both kind of in a similar place. Like, everything's been taken from her, and he feels he's broken. And shout out to Scad from Davos Fingers. Please check out his rendition of the Broken Man speech at Ice and Fire Con. Mallory, did you get a chance to see that live?
I retcon my answer from favorite thing at Ice and Fire Con, and change it to Scott doing the Broken Man speech.
That was incredible.
It was incredible.
And then afterwards,
he got a standing OV. He totally deserved it.
Yeah.
He was so scared too.
Yeah. And because he does acting, he does improv type things, and he was like, I'm never nervous before shows anymore. And he was like, I was nervous on this because there are so many really high level content experts like at this con, and like I could see it. It was like, like if you're just like a fan and you do these things, it's like, whatever. I do a podcast about it, but like this is creme de la fucking creme of the ASWAF community, and like
Lady Gwen was there, Aziz was there,
right? Yeah,
there was just a ton of people.
Yeah, and hopefully LML can go next year. You gotta talk him into that Hand of the Dragon.
Oh, I'm working on it. Don't you worry about it.
Since we're on that topic, that's when the scene Glenn was talking about with the preacher and everything. That actor, they didn't give him that speech, and I was so annoyed.
Brother Ray,
Al Swearingen.
It would have been perfect, just as a monologue.
What's his real name?
I was trying to look it up.
I don't remember.
Yeah. He spoiled, like, he basically said I was in for one episode before the episode ever aired, basically saying I'm dying in this one. He's like, it's tits and dragons.
He's a great actor.
Yeah. That actor is the one that said, it's tits and dragons. But that actor could have killed that speech. And I've seen Scad's, YouTube on it. I wish I could have been there, but he did an amazing job. But for the show, I think that would have been very fitting, very perfect to have, just as a preacher's moment, just as he's doing his sermon. Because it's so well written. It's one of the best written monologues in the entire series. Why not put that in the show?
They do. I mean, it's a good shortened rendition. Like, it gets to similar topics, but it's Ian McShane. Is his name.
Yeah. But at the same time, he could have done it in 2 minutes. A 2-minute scene, 2, maybe 3 minutes, and get most of the speech. You don't have to get every single bit of it, but most of it.
I feel like they hit the high points of it.
It's been a while since I've seen that episode.
So I thought it was a fairly good adaptation.
I think it was Mallory's
all right, then.
Newspaper that got reported on it, though. The facts that we weren't really paying attention.
Yeah, we weren't really paying attention.
That's probably where it falls.
We weren't paying attention, so here's a bunch of facts you need to catch up on.
That's what it was in the show.
Right, fair.
The WWPASHABFYNCUP.
Yeah, so real quick, at Ice and Fire Con, like was it after that speech, or did we meet him before? I think it was after.
I think we met him after.
But
go ahead, tell the story.
But I think Benji
has to listen to this.
Really, I think he really wanted to like meet him or whatever.
I wanted an autograph.
You wanted an autograph
because I'm a fan of that podcast. That's the first Game of Thrones at ASIOF podcast I started listening to, and so
anyways, like I think after that, like we went to the bar and like he like showed up, and I think Luke that was after trivia. It was after trivia because we were hanging out with
Mac.
The girl that was
Mac, who was kind of with their group.
Yeah.
And so we went out to the bar afterwards there, and they were sitting right next to us. I mean, this guy was in the chair, like 2 chairs away from us, and we were like somewhat, chit-chatting back and forth. But so we go to the bar afterwards.
We go to the bar, and I think you came up to him.
We were standing at the bar, and he walked up to us.
And okay, yeah. So we were just playing it cool at the bar.
We had our spot. We looked awesome.
So and I was trying to order beers at this point, and then I think Luke saw him and was like, hey, I'm Luke. We do this podcast or whatever he said. And then like my brother like really wants to meet you, and he thought that I was your brother. I think because
I was basically like,
I think you're like, I'm here with Glenn. He's a part of our podcast too, and then my brother. I don't know if you said you just didn't get it right away.
Yeah, because I was like, I need to take a picture of you with Glenn,
and he assumed that I was your brother or something like that. And he's like,
it was like, really bad the way I described what was going on, because Glenn and I knew what we were talking about. Yeah, what I was trying to say. We were a little drunk, but it basically
because I didn't even I was focused on getting the beers, and he's like, well, what's his problem? And you're like, he's like, oh, well, that's not my brother.
It was so I definitely confused him. And at the end of it, he was like, so let me get this straight. Your brother's a fan, but you're not. And I was like, no, that's not it at all. It's like, I'm a huge fan. I love your show.
It stems back to whenever there was a concert of
Story of the Year, and
St. Louis natives. Yeah, I guess Ben knows
Dan
Marcel, and so Luke really wanted to meet him that time, but Luke couldn't make it because he got drunk.
I got drunk at a winery.
So I showed up.
Like, I shouldn't drive 30 minutes to go here.
Like Benji was like, oh, it'd be funny. Let's get a picture with you and Dan, and then we'll send it to Luke.
So I wanted a rebuttal picture of Glenn with Scad. Yeah. It was just a totally botched opportunity.
But I mean, you got the picture.
I got one of me with him. I was like, let's just simplify this. I'll just take a picture with you.
That's right. That's right. It was. I remember getting the picture, and I was like, that's cool. But
so your brother's a fan, but you're not. I was like, no, I'm a huge fan.
You're not reading this right.
I'm telling the story.
Hear my Scad story?
Absolutely.
My Scad story. So I was probably pretty intoxicated at the time, and I was hanging out with. It was I think Saturday night.
It was a big part of this.
There was so much alcohol. It was so great. I was hanging out with Silas Tom, Melanie Lot 7, and Rebecca Bellook, I think is how you say her last name. They're on Twitter under those names. And we were wandering around, and we ran into Scott. And earlier that day, me and Scott had done a panel. And he's like, come with us. We're going to a party or something along those lines.
And this was your first Ice and Fire Con as well, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And we end up in this room, and I don't remember exactly how we ended up there. I think we were on a patio drinking before, and these girls above us were struggling. So it ended up me and my boyfriend and the crew I was with going up there with Scott to help fix this surfboard, this inflatable surfboard with a fin. So my boyfriend and Scott were trying to fix this fin on this surfboard for like 25 minutes in these strangers' hotels, and we're like, oh, you're with the con? Okay, yeah, great. So that's my Scad story there.
So hopefully I'll have a better first impression next year.
Yeah. Hopefully I have a decent first if I can actually make it.
Oh, he's nice.
I'm really trying.
So nice. I believe it.
So
I'm really trying.
I know that you don't confuse him like off the bat.
Yeah.
If you don't confuse him, then
As of right now, I believe the rest of our show is going to be there. Abby, Glenn, and Luke are all
and maybe more. Well, we're seeing what we can do.
And I'm
recruiting.
Maybe get Narrow C.
Maybe. I'm trying. I'm hopeful.
Yeah, we're looking to go in force, and we really hope to see you guys there because it's so much fun. Like it is, because I have never done any kind of con like that before, and like I knew some of the names that were going to be there. Aziz and Chloe were going to be there, and I'm like, these are big deals. And I let myself nerd out when I met Aziz the first night. We showed up really, really late on Friday night.
Yep,
and it was pretty late, and Glenn was like, I think I'm going to bed. I was like, I'm going to walk over to those bonfires.
Well, yeah, because I had worked all
Yeah.
It started work at like 5, and then like and we drove 5 hours.
So I walk up to this bonfire, and like the first guy I run into, I have my badge, luckily, because we almost didn't have them because we got there like as they were like shutting down like the front entrance.
Well, I don't think we had our badges.
Maybe we didn't have our badges. We had to get them next morning. That's right. So I walk up to basically like that front little block of cabins. There's 2 huge bonfires going on, and one of the Chicago guys I found out later, I think it's Steve. It kind of takes me under his arm and like starts introducing me to people. It's like, this is my first time here, and he's like, well, do you listen to, like, I told him who I was, and he's like, well, do you listen to other podcasts? I was like, yeah, I listen to like, all of them, as many as I can. He's like, well, there's Aziz, and I was like, I was not ready for that. And I bowed to him, as you do. and he was just like, no. I think he was under some influences. Yeah. But it was awesome. He was so cool. Aziz from History of Westeros podcast. And, like, it was just like, these are, it's so easy to come down from, you listen to these people on podcasts, and it's so easy to like make them like celebrity, like, in your own personal headspace.
Like that celebrity where, if I meet somebody like a celebrity, they're going to be a total dick to me because
these are just like normal fucking people that are just awesome. Like everyone there was just awesome.
Yeah. And they wanted to talk to you. They would, bring you into the circle, if you will.
And so we can also talk because it's in April, correct? Which right now we don't know when season 8, but tentatively
it's highly likely that there will be a new episode
during the end, con. Like right at the end of the con. So it is possible that if you're there could be a live broadcast of our reaction. It's possible. Not saying definite, but there's a possibility that could happen, and we could have a live audience.
Yeah,
I will say, like, and there's a big shout out to like the people that put that on, because there's a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
to have people like us come and just not do anything but like drink.
Right. Yeah,
and that's what I thought that was so cool, like relaxing weekend that away from your work life and all that stuff,
the rustle and bustle,
the hustle and the bustle, and like.
And they do a great job keeping up all their social media accounts and everything.
Right.
And again, like, I'm a volunteer, so if anybody, any of your fans need any help, just direct them to me, and I'll help them out with anything they need. But yeah, they do a great job. Tara's the main event organizer, and she's been doing
incredible.
It for a while. Yeah. I swear she doesn't sleep. I know, like, just from being, for the short amount of time I have been in a volunteer, like, how much work they put into it. We're already doing things for it, and they just try to make it really fun, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah, and I think they do it the right way. They keep it such. I like the fact that they don't have just unlimited tickets. I like that it's kind of a smaller get in, and you actually get to meet people. Like, you don't get that at Comic Cons or Dragon Cons or like really huge. Even I would imagine Con of Thrones is kind of comparable. It's just more community based. I haven't been to it. I don't know. You were there though. Con of Thrones, correct?
Yeah. Con of Thrones is bigger. It's a little bit more expensive just because of the venue and because they have celebrities there, so they've got costs and stuff to meet.
Like you.
Like me? No. I'm not a celebrity. But it was really, really interesting because I know it's a little bit more central for people who live like on the coast, so that's why LML came, and Joe Magician was there, Michael Bookshelf Stud. I'm trying to think of, there were so many people there. It was really, really cool, but the intimacy, like we were talking about Ice and Fire Con and kind of being secluded, was definitely like a super like safeguard thing I was happy about. Because the one thing that was kind of hard about Con of Thrones was there was other people at the venue. So there was like a religious like convention the first day, and I'm like, oh my god, we literally have a guy in our community whose name is Lucifer means Lightbringer.
But it does.
Yeah. I have to look at that, and I'm just like, yeah, but also, one of the greatest examples, Shakes of Thrones, Lauren. I don't know if you guys know her. She's super great, but she did a whole panel on Shakespeare by herself.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
I think we follow her on Twitter.
Yeah, and I can see, like,
she's awesome.
For people who, you're self-conscious a little bit of why Ice and Fire Con is a little bit, because it's more secluded. It's the group. Everybody's there for the same reason. You don't feel like, you go to Con of Thrones and you might be walking around whatever big ass city, city and you want to, cosplay or you want to do something, but you're self-conscious and you don't,
you're in the fucking woods. Like the only people that are there are the ones that are gonna be like, that's awesome. Like from like a mile away. They'll fucking shout it.
And even like, that's what I'm saying is, it's kind of one of those, it feels more, accepting. I should say accepting.
No, it is. I mean,
it's more comfortable to do
I would
that
say so.
Because like I've always wanted to try doing that shit, but I'd never go to any one of the St. Louis ones because like I don't want to drive or walk down the street and something like that and have people like, what the fuck,
I actually know you.
Look at this schmuck.
Exactly. I mean, I'm not a brave person whatsoever when it comes to shit like that. So if I had something like Ice FireCon, I was like, yeah, I might try something. Now I'm not creative at all, and I need some help figuring out something.
That's what Abby's for.
Exactly.
I threw a Tiana costume together out of just black clothes I had in my my closet, and I ended up accidentally forgetting that I had the costume on. Alcohol was involved, and walking to McDonald's, which was a good like 1.5 mile walk with Bookshelf Stud, aka Michael. Nice. And I was like, why are people staring at me? And then I was like, oh my god, I'm still in my witch costume.
I might go for hot pie. I could pull off a hot pie.
The hot pie.
The hottest.
Have
of
a pie.
Yeah. So I will say when we met you, Mallory, I kind of had a little bit one of those moments because I listened to a lot of Lucifer Means Lightbringer podcast, and he references you all the time, like throughout, which is awesome. And I was like, man, I feel like I knew your artwork because I've seen your artwork and I followed you on Twitter and everything. And then like we were just in the vendor room, Glenn and I, just walking around. We picked up some of the direwolves, which we have a couple laying around right here.
Trying to make sure that we
don't
got
have these. Yeah, we've had some damaged ones.
Yeah, that was
that was mine.
Got beheaded. That's
rough. So we got those. I was really considering.
I got the Ned.
Gray one.
I got the Ned. The gray one.
Yeah. The great one. See, it's perfect for the episodes that we just did, right? I was so close to buying the 12-inch tall Victorian figurine thing. I think it was awesome.
It was pretty cool, yeah.
And I was like, do I want to spend that much right now? I should not, but I really want to. I was like, if it's there tomorrow, I'll get it.
He had like other stuff that was good too. Like he had a
that was the one
but that one was just like
it was awesome,
immaculate.
And so we kind of keep going all the way around, clockwise around the room. And then we get to what ended up being your table. And I'm like, just looking at your stuff and like flipping through the book. And you were like, wow, you're like the only person that's ever looked through the book. And I was like, yeah. I was like, no, this is awesome stuff. Like, it's really cool shit. And I liked your t-shirts that you had hanging out. And then you were like, and you handed me your card and it said St. Rixie. I was like, you're St. Rixie? Like, I fucking know you. Like, God damn it. It was so funny because I was like, this is just cool shit, you know? And then I realized, oh, you're somebody that I know. It was so cool.
It's so crazy having those moments when you meet people. Like, it was so awesome just like meeting everybody I've talked to online. And it was like big mood, big energy, you know, like, and yeah, it's like so many people, like I'm really, really bad with names and ats, but I remember faces. So that translates on Twitter to icons.
Right.
So I'm like, oh wait, okay, I know who you are. Make the face that's in your icon. Put the little hat on. Do whatever that is. But yeah, it was so much fun. That was really crazy. Y'all made me feel really honored. And
then I bought the Lyanna Stark shirt. You were like, you're the only guy that's bought one of those.
You are still the only guy who I've sold that shirt.
It's a great shirt.
So proud of you. Thank you.
It's such a good shirt.
Feminist.
Pro-fem. Absolutely.
And then I'm
not shaming you guys.
I bought 2 of your pieces and they're like phenomenal.
Yeah.
And then even the stuff you've made tonight, like just looking at it,
like the one that you're doing right now with
awesome.
the hound, like just Jesus Christ.
And
yeah, that's fucking badass.
It's so amazing because this is like 5 minutes of. And then you have something.
This is doodling. Like,
yeah.
Me doodling is not like this.
A stick figure.
Nope, you end up with a Triforce.
That's stick figure, jack it off or something.
I have about 1,000 Triforces. That's about all I can doodle.
I could do like the 3D cube.
Yeah. Can you do the 90s S? I think.
Oh yeah. Like the big dollar sign looking one. Yeah.
This one. We're gonna do it.
Oh, we got it. We got to have video tutorial. Oh yeah, we all know. That's exactly right.
So this is why we were talking about need to get more people from the coast. That's why, St. Louis is a perfect location.
That's right.
Well, actually, no, Lake of the Ozarks.
Lake of the Ozarks would be pretty solid.
Oh, you get, kind of the
Especially
Ice and Fire Con, because you get the secluded. You can find some secluded resorts or whatever. Boom, right on the lake. Hit Party Cove. Plenty of drinking, and you're away from everything, but you're middle of the country. You have two international airports you can fly into, St. Louis or Kansas City. Get there within 4-hour drive.
Oh, it's way
and
less.
I live in Kansas City.
Well, it's way less.
Oh, shit.
She's originally from St. Louis.
Oh, fuck.
Yes.
There we
Okay.
go.
Didn't know that. Okay. So I mean, way close. Probably 2 hours, 2.5 hours, either way.
Yeah.
But we need to get on it.
Let's make it East St. Louis.
Let's make it East
East
St. Louis. Yeah, that's just going to be fun for everyone.
Me and Glenn know that area fairly well. So.
Yep.
So we're actually having Tara, the organizer for Ice and Fire Con, on as a guest in episode 8, I believe.
Trendy.
And maybe we'll talk to her about it. We'll see. And it's not going to happen.
No, I know.
Because they're a lot Eastern states.
But
But
they've already booked the venue for this year. So.
yeah.
Well, I'm not
But
saying
maybe
this
in the
year,
future.
but 2020,
Yeah.
the 2020 con, you get it Central Midwest.
All right.
Well, what we could do is have like a little mini thing here and then take the Jojen train.
We just all hop on the Jojen train. I could be convinced to take the Jojen train. This all stems from Abby's joke of, I'm not quite on the Jojen train yet. 'Cause she's our first time watcher, and she's a little leery about Jojen. And
Oh, I don't blame her. He is creepy.
Yeah.
a little suspicious.
And
And I've never really thought about it because I've always as the book, I knew the books already, but
same here. But watching it this time through, and since Abby said that, I'm like, yeah, I kind of agree, because he's introduced just randomly in the woods, like, hi, we don't know he's Jojen Reed,
Jojen.
who's,
Right. here's Woods Boy.
it's, your father's Bannerman, we
This
know
random
you,
kid in the
we're,
woods.
all this.
I'm
It's,
from the neck.
yeah.
Hello.
And we didn't even get the frog reference.
Frog eaters.
Yeah.
Squishers.
The whole Maggie the Frog, like, I didn't know this until 2 months ago. Like, Maggie the Frog is a reed, or is related to the reeds. It's, and I'm like, okay.
Most likely
I thought I read
has
that.
children of the forest blood.
Yeah.
Listen to Lucifer Means Light Bringer.
True.
Deep shit.
Yeah.
It's like all that. I'm telling you.
I've said from the beginning of this, I am a cursory observer of the show and book. I read and I understand a lot of it, but I don't know about a quarter, or I only know about a quarter of what's
you know the plots.
I know the plots and I know the subplots.
Schemes and plots.
But the history and
All synonyms.
the intricacies, no clue. I'm trying to learn now. So that's where LML, is going to come in handy.
It's a good source.
You mean like of the entire like world of A Song of Ice and Fire, the histories and like the backgrounds and the myths. Gotcha.
Yeah, I like I said, I'm the cursory guy. Like I've read them all, I've watched them all, and I audiobook every night. Between that and Harry Potter, but I'll go through each run. I just finished my Game of Thrones one, or Song of Ice and Fire, and I think it was on for 3 months on the audiobook every night. I don't think that deeply, and so I need other people to think that deeply and explain it to me. This is why I have Luke.
And this is why I have loose from.
Yeah.
I'm just basically channeling
exactly.
LML onto our show whenever I can.
So and so I'm trying to bypass Luke now and find the real sources to help me out.
See, I've given my secrets away. What'd you say?
I said I do have some sway.
That's true.
But yeah, if you're looking for that's kind of what I did. Like when I read the books the first time, probably in about 2007 or 2008. And then I watched the show when it came out, and then went back and reread the books. But I supplement my knowledge all the time, and I really am interested in the history by listening to about a bunch of YouTube podcasts. And ones that I would recommend, obviously, History of Westeros, Radio Westeros. I love LML's podcast. Crowfood's daughter, hers is the Disputed Lands. She is freaking genius. Her name's Amanda. I don't know if any of you guys know her.
Absolutely.
But,
Yep.
Even Quinn from A Song of Ice, or Ideas of Ice and Fire, has really interesting theory videos. So the thing I find really helpful about all of those different videos, even if they're theories you don't agree with, is you're at least getting some of the history, of the Langanese people, or however you say that. Like you're getting thank you. It's like you're getting more and more history.
Yeah, even if
kind of like a short format.
I agree. Like even if you're starting to connect different things that you don't necessarily agree with, like you're watching whoever it is and you're like, I don't know if I really agree with that. It still starts making you, it forces you to start making that connective tissue between different things. And it just really provides a lot of depth to honing those connections, at least, even if you think they're false, but it makes you think, well, okay, well, where does that really come from?
Yeah.
So
No, I get that.
But I think we're going to wrap this up for our epilogue episode. Sanri, we are so happy that you joined us, and hopefully we can have you on again at some point, and we will absolutely see you at Ice and FireCon. That's for damn sure.
Oh, yeah. Keep me company at the vendor booth, please.
We'll just bring a couple chairs. We'll just sit by you the whole time.
We'll bring some chicken.
Please.
We'll bring some chickens.
I'm on smoke.
Oh, man, you guys are the best. Thank you.
We'll bring booze and chickens.
Booze and chickens.
And swords.
Can't ask for more.
All right. Well, then we are going to sign off. Please follow us on Twitter at KnowAndDrink. Send us a digital raven at knowandDrink@gmail.com. Subscribe, like, rate, and leave comments on iTunes and YouTube. And until next time.
As always, don't turn your back on the wolf pack.
As always, winter is coming, and so am I.
And as always, stay imaginary, Mallory.
Keep it real, folks.
Keep it real.
How's that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Snap into a slim. There you go. There's my mom.
And I know things.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Mallory. It was awesome.
And we will talk to you again on Twitter soon. I know.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, really, thank you for being here. And it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, tons.
And so the pictures that you've drawn, is there any way you can share that with us?
Yeah, I will post them all on Twitter.
Okay.
If that would be the easiest way, or I can DM them to you.
Whichever you want.
Cool. I will do both.
Perfect.
Awesome.
I like it. It sounds like less work for me. I love it.
You got multiple options.
Those
Whatever
are
you're feeling.
incredible, though. Like,
Yeah.
for real.
Thank you. This one was really fun. I kind of was just listening to you guys and playing out with some painting techniques, and I was like, I'm just going to work on a sandor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like this one a lot. It turned out
Can you
pretty
do like a
interesting.
full pan out view of like all of them? Because they're all in one canvas, or is that not?
It's all in different layers.
Oh,
So,
gotcha.
here, let me show you how it works here.
So are you working in GIMP? Is that or
So
something
this is
similar?
Photoshop.
Okay,
CS.
actual Photoshop. Gotcha.
Yeah, CS6. It's my preferred thing. I'm spoiled. I know. Here's a creepy mountain.
Yeah, I see that.
And these dudes.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be an Arya, but then I got distracted.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we are going to let you go. And again, thank you so much for joining us here.
Of course. Thank you.
All right. Talk to you later.
See ya.
Bye. And goodbye, live streamers. We love you.
Goodbye, Yellow Brick Road.
Goodbye, Yellow Brick live stream.
We love you.
We love you.
Forever.
I'll get to know each other later.
We're sitting down on a
Oh,
first
Sing it. Sing it. We're sitting down on our very first day.
I mean, we'll get to know each other later, but
But I
right
wanna-
now,
I wanted to
just
tell
want
you.
to tell you, I love you.
I love you.
Forever.
This is one of the songs that we heard driving through Illinois
this
or
random-
Indiana
this random-
on the way to Ice and FireCon. It was,
we were like flipping through the station.
we couldn't find anything.
Something.
And then we just come across this like piano playing jazz guy. And he's just,
He's just talking truths.
yeah, we turned it off, which was a total mistake. But because we kept coming back to it. And yeah, he was like, we're sitting down on our very first date. And we'll get to know each other later.
And don't worry, we'll get to know each other later.
But right now,
I
wanna
just gotta tell you that I love you forever.
if anyone knows that song, please write in and let us know, because we could not find it on the parts that we remembered.
Yeah, and then we didn't have like the what is it? The Shazam.
Well, the question is what?
Not quick enough.
Yeah. What part of Illinois were you in?
It was might have been Indiana. It was
close to Illinois, Indiana, like probably maybe on the border.
And you don't remember the station numbers?
Absolutely not.
low 90s.
Yeah.
I mean,
That
it
sounds
was
like
a
90s.
collegiate station. Like
Gotcha.
we should not have turned that off.
Yeah,
though. But I am going to turn
we were
this
like
off.
joking that like we turned it on later, and he's like, "So we just got done with the first date."
we continue this concept.
Like the song just like never ends almost, and
So now we're moving in together after being dating for a week.
so I hate to say this, but we're getting a divorce.
All right.
Oh wait, I'm pregnant.
Bye, live stream. We love you.
Well,
We'll get to know each other later.
love you too, because I'm the only one on
know
it.
each other that one time, but
And
now
we may wanna
I can't
change-
stand you